Greetings, my fellow free-minded sovereign thinkers. This is LL3's News Podcast. My name is Craig. I am presiding within the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today I'm going to be reading a report from NewJersey.com or NJ.com. I like a little quote, True Jersey. And this is from via National Rifle Association on my Facebook page. It's entitled Lower Capacity for Gun Magazines Approved by New Jersey Assembly Panel. I'm just going to narrate this and give you my intake. So I will begin. Despite the protests of dozens of New Jersey gun rights supporters, including a 9-year-old girl, a state assembly panel today approved a bill that would reduce the number of bullets in ammunition magazine could hold from 15 to 10. The bill A 2006, which was approved by a 5-3 vote along party lines, lied after a 3-hour-long hearing, was sought by gun control advocates and family members of some of the 20 elementary school children at the Sandy Hook School in Newton, Connecticut in 2012. The measure has support of the Senate and Assembly leaders, but the question is what Governor Christie will do when it reaches his desk. Last year, Christie signed several minor gun-related bills, but vetoed those most sought by gun control advocates, including a ban on 50 caliber rifles that he had called for months earlier. Asked about New Jersey's gun laws at a town hall meeting in Mount Laurel, Christie didn't say what he would do about the new proposal, though he didn't take the opportunity to vote that he had vetoed more bills than any governor since at least 1947. Assemblyman Lou Greenwald, Democrat from Camden, the sponsor of the bill considered today, said that gunmen in several recent mass shootings had used high-capacity magazines and were only disarmed when they needed to reload. I'm just wondering if this town of Camden is very safe. Just to let you folks out, so we're across the river from Philadelphia. We see time and time again in the news when it's when the individual goes to reload their magazine clip, brave individuals are able to step up and apprehend those individuals, Greenwald said. In Sandy Hook, children were able to flee and escape. Greenwald's testimony was punctuated with shouts of "Time's up" from the crowd. But the room fell silent during the testimony from a 9-year-old Shane Roberts, a 4th grade pupil from Franklin Township in Gloucester County, who participates in the shooting competitions. Roberts, who was accompanied by her father, Dan, a gun rights activist, say that a Glock she owns, along with a custom-built AR-15, she expects to receive soon from a sponsor, would be made worthless under the bill because they had 15-round magazines. I have worked and trained very hard to get to the level I am at, and if A 2006 becomes law, I will be forced to choose between giving up my very bright and promising future in the sport that I love or asking my dad if we can move to another state, Roberts said. Everyone is upset about bad people doing bad things to others, but punishing the people who didn't do anything wrong is not the way to stop bad people. Brian Miller, executive director of the anti-gun violence group Heeding God's Call, says he doubts Roberts' guns could not be fitted with 10-round magazines and called the testimony a setup by the father. Sounds sacrilege about heeding God's call. Okay, you need to read the Bible more thoroughly. Other gun rights groups said the bill would do nothing but make them less able to fend off criminals and force them to give up or sell out-of-state expensive firearms that will suddenly be illegal. Several warned they would not comply with the bill if it became law. Max McGuire, a political science graduate at Villanova University and Cranberry resident, said attempting to stop mass shooters with the law will be like lowering the speed limits to stop drag racers. You cannot do this. This is my property. This is the stuff that I bought legally, and I committed no crime, McGuire said. But those who support the bill said that the federal assault rifle ban that expired in 2004 had limited magazine size to 10. This is not new, said Kristen Wald, a member of the New Jersey chapter's Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. I cannot add testimony that this is more clear than an example of 11 children being able to escape the Sandy Hook perpetrator as he scrambled to replace a magazine. The panel amended the bill to exempt certain .22 caliber rifles often used by Boy Scouts. The panel also approved a measure that was intended as an olive branch for gun rights supporters but did nothing to assuage them. The bill, A 2077, will allow drivers to transport guns between homes and the range or hunting grounds to make deviations as are reasonably necessary, meaning purchasing fuel, using the restroom, and contending with an emergency situation. Scott Bach, Executive Director of the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistols Club, said current law gives judges more discretion than the bill would and urged the committee to broaden the language by adding the words including before specifically outlining the permitted deviations. They're trying to throw us a crumb and they can't even get that right, Bosch said in an interview. Yeah, I was like looking through this bill 8 2006. I'm not really impressed. It's a lot of like rhetoric, I would say, and I like that one person, Brian Miller, anti-gun violence group, heeding God's call. Wow, how holy it is, but in reality it's sacrilege. Brian Miller should focus more on violent crime than just gun violence, because if you do focus only on gun violence, you're being biased again. When will these people ever learn? In addition, it is property rights that this particular bill is violating too, even under state constitution as well. But let me just hit their bill 8 2006, which was passed 5-3. And of course, you got Greenwald, Assemblyman Greenwald, Annette Gordino, and you got Ustis, and you got Gordon Johnson, and you got Jay-Z. You got co-sponsored by Assemblywoman Watson Coleman, Assemblyman McKeon, Assemblywoman Mascara, Assemblyman Cher Garcia, and Assemblywoman Tucker. Reduce maximum capacity gun magazine to 10 rounds. They give you all the definitions here: deface, destructive device, dispose of, explosive, firearms, farmer silencer, gravity knife, okay, and that's in there too. And of course they got switchblade knife, okay, so that's considered okay. Oh yeah, I like that. Of course, stun guns, assault firearms. They say assault firearms mean the following firearms: Algemic AGM-1 type, any shotgun with a revolving cylinder, such as a street sweeper or Spreaker 12, and they add the Beretta AR-70 and BM-59 semi-automatic weapons, Bushmaster assault rifle, and of course, and then I'm just skipping along here, Galley type Heckler or Koch HK 91, 93, 94, MP5, PSG1. And another assault weapon here, M1 carabine type. So the 30 caliber is a little bit dangerous, right? Or how about the Uzi, semi-automatic weapon, and of course the Springfield Armory BM-59 and SAR-48 type. Just giving you some examples here, and the Weaver Arm Nighthawk. Hey. And they gave you all the definitions, trigger locks, and all that good scenario. And I like it says here, number 2, new section, notwithstanding provisions of subsection J of New Jersey State 2C-39-3, a retired law enforcement officer is authorized to possess and carry a handgun pursuant to subsection 1 of NJS 2C-39-6 may possess carry a large capacity ammunition magazine which is capable of holding up to 15 rounds of ammunition that can be fed continuously and directly into a semi-automatic handgun. Hooray! That is very, very nice. And of course, first day of the third month following enactment. That should be taking effect. Now, I like the statement here. It says, this bill bans firearm magazines that can hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Magazine capable of holding up to 15 rounds of ammunition are legal in New Jersey. Specifically, the bill revised the definition of a large capacity ammunition magazine to reduce that allowable rounds of ammunition from 15 to 10. The bill also designates a semi-automatic rifle with a fixed magazine capacity exceeds 10 rounds as a prohibited assault firearm. Currently, they are not included as an assault firearm unless the capacity exceeds 15 rounds. The bill also authorizes retired police officers who are authorized to possess and carry a handgun in the state to continue a large capacity magazine which is capable of holding up to 15 rounds. According to the sponsor, this legislation is in response to the recent horrific tragedy in Arizona. The assailant utilized a large capacity ammunition magazine in a shooting that resulted in the deaths of 6 people and injured 13 others, including Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. How come they don't focus on psychotropic drugs? Are these assembly folks bought and paid for too? That's a good question to ask. And in addition, they have violated certain areas of the Constitution. They breached the oath for sure. And I'll just read here Article 1 of the state Constitution. Rights and privileges. And Section 1 reads, all persons are by nature free and independent and have certain natural and unalienable rights, among which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness. Oh yeah, so this little bill, 8/2006, makes it less happy, right? Okay, and we'll just go along down here. The right of people to be secure in their papers, houses, papers, and effects. Actually, at Section 7, same article. Against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall issue except upon a probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the papers and things to be seized. Okay, and we'll just keep on going down along. And can these individuals exercise treason? Well, we'll read Section 17, same article. And it states, treason against the state shall consist only in levying war against it or as adhering to its enemies, give them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or in a confession in open court. Well, giving aid. So this particular bill that they passed in the Assembly, who's going to benefit? Criminals and corrupt governments. Like I always said, just look at the 18th Amendment, the prohibition of alcohol during the 20s. What did it accomplish? Organized crime and corrupt governments. And we'll just finally hit Section 21 of the same article. And it reads, this enumeration of rights and privileges shall not be construed to impair or deny others retained by the people. So that means it's equivalent to the 9th Amendment. And what is that a reflection of? Natural law. So to be all honesty and sincere, this Assembly Bill 2006 is null and void in their own state constitution. But a lot of these hacks don't know how to read, and they want you to believe that they're the masters and the world should revolve around them. And it's funny about the whole thing when they talked about the police officers can hold, or former police officers, retired police officers, or police officers can hold for certain things. And the fact is, they are not obligated to protect you. Okay, the police aren't obligated to protect you, and you can't even sue them. All right, if you get into a bind, and there is New Jersey statute 59, section 59. Verse 9-2. Let's see what it has to say. It's actually, claims against public entities, judgments, interests, and limitations. And like it says here, Section 59-9, verse 9-2, judgments and interest limitations. No interest. It says here, A, no interest shall occur prior to the entry of judgment against a public entity or public employee. B, no judgment shall be granted against a public entity or public employee on the basis of strict liability, implied warranty, or products liability.